Okay, so I'm going to make a couple of videos showing how I shave fur. I try to do as much shaving as I can before I sew anything together or glue anything on. It helps create a more even shave. It makes for a lot less work later, especially when you're on a head and there's really tight crevices and it's really hard to get a shaver in there. So I like to shave my fur first. So this video is going to show how I shave to medium pile. This is a 4 FC blade. I don't know if you can really see that. There you go. 4 FC blade made by Andis. I use an Andis Ultra Edge shaver, and I don't really use guards unless I absolutely need a certain length of fur that I don't have a blade for. And I only use the metal magnetic guards because they shave a little bit better than the plastic ones. But I usually stick with 4 FC for medium pile, and then I use a 7 FC for like really, really short areas like the face and fingers and toes and stuff like that. But I'm going to show, this is Luxury Shag or Punky Muppet, if you get it from Mendel's. But it's Punky Muppet and Lux Shag come in a couple different varieties. They're not all the same. This particular Lux Shag is kind of like the longer, slightly less soft version. I wish I had I should probably I could grab another piece to show you what the different ones are, but so this version of Lux Shag I have a much harder time shaving than the shorter, softer version. It really gunks up my blades, and it's kind of a pain, especially shaving it down to medium pile. Usually, the shorter pile is, my blade will just cut through it like butter, and it's really, really nice and it's easy, but this is probably the most frustrating length to get with Lux Shag, so I'm going to show that video first, and then I'll show a video of me doing the shorter one. But so what I do is I trace out all my pieces first. These are actually going to be ear pieces, so I want them to be a medium pile. I don't want them to be super short, so just a little fluffy. So put my blade on, and whenever you're shaving, make sure everything's nice and oiled and cleaned. It takes a lot of passes to get an even shave with the medium blade on Lux Shag. It's just, I don't know, the fur is really weird. But so one thing that I do first is I brush the crap out of it. If you don't brush it, it usually is harder to shave and just more frustrating. So if you get it nice and brushed, then it's something that you don't really have to worry about as much, a little bit easier. Let's see, and then I also need a mask. You need a mask when you're shaving fur. Let's see. Just use this like a dust mask, just something to keep as many of the particles and fibers out of your nose and mouth as possible. Getting these little tiny plastic fibers in your lungs is not good for you. So every single time you shave something, wear a mask. Yay! Okay, so I'm not going to speed this video up or anything, so I'm just going to show how long the process kind of is. And so here we go. You see, because I brushed it, it's shaving actually pretty well right now. And I'm just doing the initial pass. Shave all the way up to the edge. I'm not pressing very hard on the material, just kind of letting the blade do what it needs to. But as you can see, like, my blade is getting really gummed up with this fur. It does not like to, little dust particles everywhere. But it really likes to gum up shavers. It's a strange fur. It's really unfortunate that it comes in so many great colors. But it's such a pain in the butt to work with. Okay, so usually after I do my first pass, give it a nice brush. This releases much more plastic particles into the air. But as you can see, I don't know if this will show up on video very well, it's really, you can see a lot of shave lines from the first pass, and this is really just a problem that I have with Luck Shag. Most other furs don't show these, but it's really choppy. So with Luck Shag, I have to do a lot of passes to get it as smooth as I can. So, and then usually after the first pass, I will start pressing a little bit harder, and that also helps get rid of some of the shave marks. So let's keep going. Okay, and then right now I'm just brushing as much of the extra fibers off of my shaver as I can. So I really don't like the blade getting gummed up. Okay. And then I try to throw away as many of the fibers as I can too, so it doesn't make as much of a mess later. We're getting there, but definitely still have a while to go. Oh, and one thing to point out too, when you're shaving, it's really, really hard for the shaver to get the very edge of the fur the same length as everything when you're doing this method. So I try to not draw my patterns all the way to the edge. Try to leave a little bit of a gap there. That way I can ensure that most of the piece is pretty even. But honestly, I pretty much just do as many passes until I start getting teeny tiny fibers. Like this is still a lot coming off of one pass. So I try to shave until I'm barely getting anything. Time for another brush. I'm not getting nearly as much trash here. And those shave marks are definitely starting to disappear quite a bit. Starting to look really, really smooth. super nice. There's just fur everywhere. That's why we wear our masks. Safety first. We want our lungs to last forever. Okay. I'm getting really close. I can tell because I'm not getting as much fur trim. I can tell that I'm almost done with this piece. You see, it takes quite a few passes to get it actually down to the length that I want. Even with just a bare blade, no guard or anything. It takes a while, especially if you want your piece to be super smooth. I like to get it as smooth as possible because I don't like shaving when the fur has been put on a face. I still usually do take my trimmers and go over it at least once just to make sure that I don't have any high spots. But I really don't like shaving in the crevices on a face. And so having most of the shaving done beforehand helps me a ton. Just makes everything a lot smoother. And if you guys have seen the tropical saber-tooth fursuit I did last summer, Malibu, I shaved his entire body like this. The only fur on him, I think, that I kept the same length, or the original length, was his chest, so it could be nice and fluffy, but everything else, I spent, oh gosh, I should probably spent about 10 hours shaving all the fur for him, because I had to do his head, his hands, his feet, and his entire digibody. I mean, it was worth it. It was a really cool effect. And I really liked it, but it just took a ton of time. I mean, it turned out really nice in the end. Made the fursuit look really nice. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple more final passes. So pretty much done here. The fur is looking super smooth, so I'm going to get this side a little bit because I accidentally got my pattern pretty close to this edge, so I want to make sure that I get that edge. Alright, I'm going to say that we are done with this length. Let's see, a good brush. My dog hears something, or nothing. He also likes to bark at nothing. Again, this is Luck Shag fur, Arctic fox fur, other types of long pile fur. It doesn't normally take me this long to shave it, just because it cuts so much nicer. And then like the shorter, softer Lux shag also is faster for me. But I've come across at least 2 different kinds, which is like this longer, a little bit more coarse Lux shag. But then there's also a longer pile like this that's really, really soft. So maybe there's 3 types? I don't know. It's confusing. I'm not sure how the manufacturers decide what length and texture it's going to be and then what they call it. But this longer, more coarse stuff is just harder for me to shave. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. It's buttery smooth, and everything is the same length, which is super awesome, and it's full of static. So then from here, and all I do then is just cut it out. Use an X-Acto knife, just while I have Band-Aid. Brand new blades, you barely touch yourself with it and causes bleeding. So they're super sharp. I'll cut this piece out just to show that the whole piece is pretty uniform. And like I said, once I get everything sewn and glued down to whatever piece I shaved the fur for, I usually still take my blades to it just to make sure. Sometimes there's high spots that are hard to see and they don't really stand out until the fur is curved or at a different angle. And so I still like to run my blade over it after the piece is technically furred, just to make sure. I really like having super smooth shave jobs, so I work really hard to try to make sure that that's something that my customers get. So also one thing is when after you're done shaving a piece and cutting it out, I really like to shake the crap out of it. That way when you're sewing the pieces together later, there aren't as many fibers falling off of it and getting into your lungs, because I really don't like sewing with a mask on, and as long as a fur isn't really shedding, I don't need to have a mask when I sew. But that's only if I've spent a bunch of time shaking these pieces out. So if I pre-shaved a bunch of pieces and then didn't shake them out, then I definitely wear a mask when I sew the pieces together. Okay. So yeah, this piece is super smooth, super uniform. So yeah, there we go. So it looks really, really great. So it's going to go on to Z's ears. I have a bunch of her fur cut out already and shaved. So this is the pile before. So this is the longer. This is going to go on her neck. So it's going to be upside down so that's super fluffy. And then so that went from that to this. And then you can go a little bit shorter, which I'll make another video for. This is a different color, but this is as short as I'll go. It's with my 7 FC blade. And so you can see the difference here, like a medium pile and then a short pile. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Hopefully that helps anyone who has to shave a bunch of fur. And I will make a video showing me shave really, really short fur and how much easier it is than the medium pile. So thanks for watching. Bye.